little bit closer. I'm doing a little bit of reloading. I'm in my shop. Sorry about all that. I'm in my shop today, and I am reloading some 300 Blackout. This is the same round I hunted with this year, but with sighting in and everything, I just got kind of low, so um, the knuckleheads helped me decap them and everything. So I just greased them up, and I'm running them through the full length sizer die. These will be loaded up with 125 grain Hornady SSTs that I don't have on the reloading bench today, but it's Sunday, September 14th. January 14th of the year 2024. So Happy New Year, everyone. The 2023 hunting season was a good year. I had a ton of fun, and it was successful for us. It was successful, yeah, which was a good feeling as always. But the year started out, I had all last year in 2022, I had said I've got to do something different. This isn't working. So I decided to try to hunt mobile. I did not have a saddle. I still don't. In fact, I was hunting out of a ladder stand, and I did have a Summit Climber Viper. They've been sitting in the garage collecting dust, so I pulled it out, camoed it up, put has more seat replacement seat on there to lighten things up. Got me some good shoulder straps, figured everything out as much as I could before the hunting season, and then refined that during hunting season. I learned a lot about my gear and my platform this year. Next year that may change. I was lucky enough to purchase a tethered Predator platform, and I'm going to be trying that out over the off season, getting familiar with it, and we'll see. And it also depends upon if I want to try to go and get a saddle. If I'm able to get a saddle, then I'll consider the platform a little bit more seriously. As it is right now, I'm not going to do it. To be honest with you, the only thing I'm hunting with out of right now is my my harness, and I rigged it up with a bridge and all that, and I had fun, and it worked, and I was safe. That was the main thing. But going back to the beginning of the year, man, it started out hot, and we went into those new spots I had found. We started out hunting Main Street. And although I had fun, it wasn't doing anything. So I got out of there. I went over to the briar patch and started poking around over there. And again, the same thing. Although I was having fun, I was not being successful. I wasn't seeing deer or anything. So then that brought us up to my rutcation this year. So this year during rut, I was fortunate enough to be able to take off a year down here in Louisiana, and went hunting. Started off the same. I was in the briar patch. I had finally pushed back up in there, and I had got a little buck on film on cam, but he wasn't really a big shooter or anything. But there was sign in there. I hadn't seen sign all year, so that's where I was at, and nothing would happen. Nothing happened, and I got discouraged with it. Well, I was hunting there in the mornings because it's a little bit away from the camp. And then in the evenings, what I had started doing, like I said, I purchased that Predator platform. I was trying to get familiar with it, probably pushing myself a little bit, trying to get into it without a saddle, just hunt out of it with a harness. But regardless, that's what I was doing. And I was running out to a place closer here to the camp. And every day I'd go in there and I'd seeing tons of deer on the road, tons of deer. And I went back in there, and that first day I was throwing up that platform, and I had that doe come out on me. She ran up the hill, and then she just milled around a little bit, checking things out. Never did see me. Walked off, walked on back down the hill, cut around, went on down into the bottom, and wandered off. But it was great. I saw deer. I had activity. I was having fun. So went back out there the next day, and I said, I'm going to hunt. Oh, by the way, on that same day, I had a second doe come in, and she came in downwind of me, and she sending me in. She was snorting and everything else, but she never did come in that much. Um, then the next day, I went out hunting, and again, no luck. And so that evening, I decided I was going to hunt out of that platform. So where I was going, it was bucks only. So I was hunting in there for bucks only. I knew there was a doe. It was during the rut. I knew there was a couple of does in the area, so why not? So I went in there and I put up my stand. I got all the way up with my four sticks. Set my platform, pulled up my backpack, got it hooked up and situated, and went to pull up my gun, and wasn't paying much attention to it. And as I was pulling up on the pull string wrapped around the bottom, one of the bottoms of my stick. And when I went to pull it, I thought it was a limb, and I jerked a little bit hard, and it pulled it out from under there and yanked it up, and there it was. And just so happened the platform was here. It was the top step, and which was down here, and that stick was now like this. Uh, so here I was out in the middle of nowhere. I was out there by myself. The wife was back at the camp, and I didn't want to call her or anything, but and get her nervous. But I wanted to talk to somebody and let them know what was going on. So I called TJ and was telling him, and I was laughing at myself. He was at work, but he was laughing too. And like, how in the heck am I going to get down from here? So I let TJ go, and I said, "Well, it's time. I need to just get out there and get down from here." So I shimmied around the tree, hooked up my tether and all that, and was trying to be as safe as I could. But I stepped down on it, and it was tight. It was really tight onto the tree. It was all messed up. So I was able to shimmy down past it onto the next step, and I was able to straighten it out and recover. But at that point, I was so shook up, I decided I wasn't gonna hunt anymore like that today. So I just took all my gear down and came on out of the tree. So the next day, I go back out to my other spot, and I'm still seeing nothing. And I'm like, I've got a better chance seeing hunting out here in this other spot, even though it's bucks only, than I do coming in over here and hoping to be able to shoot a doe if they come out, because I'm just not seeing any deer. Over there, I'm seeing deer every time I go. So I pull all my gear, every bit of it. I need to back up because I'm telling you wrong. My wife and I meet her. I was hunting that morning, and we, my wife and I met up in town, and I took her out to lunch, and we were eating there. And she had seen a deep freeze on sale, and for $2.99, and it was only $4.99. So we went ahead and I cut my hunt short for that day, and we went up and got it, and came back up and got it all hooked up and set up. And we'd always joked, said we knew we needed some extra freezer space, and we always joked and said, if I shoot a deer, we'll go ahead and buy a freezer. Well, the deal was just too good to pass up, so we bought it. Well, I moved all my gear, And I go out to set it up that evening, and I had been seeing deer every evening when I was going out there testing out that gear in this one spot crossing the road. And I mean, there's 5, 6, 7 deer at a time running across there. And so I said, I got to looking on Onyx, and I found what was likely the corridor there that they were traveling in. And that evening, on a Hail Mary, I went out there and I set up where I thought they were going to cross the road, come into these woods, and filter down uh, through a creek bottom and come up over here on this side. And so I came around over here and came in on that side. Didn't really have any intention of serious hunting there that evening. Just I was getting my stand up so I could get into the area. Uh, First serious hunt. I was in my climber at this point, and was up in the stand. It was. I got up there and I sat down. It was probably somewhere right around 4 o'clock because I was late. We had been, you know, moving gear and stuff. So I climbed up the tree, situated, all that. 4 o'clock, and I text Janice, my wife, and I said, I don't really like this spot. It don't feel right. Uh, and she goes, well, move. And I said, well, I might, but I'm gonna sit here for just a little bit longer. And at 4:20, I sent her another text. Said I just shot a monster. But yeah, so I'm sitting up there, and I started hunting. In fact, it was that trip. Actually, it was a few hunts before that, but I started hunting with my climber, even as a style of saddle. I would spin the climber, face the tree, and hook on a bridge to my tether. Uh, uh, and the bridge was attached to my harness, so a hybrid, whatever. And I was sitting on the front rail, sort of leaning back, sitting on it, whatever you want to call it, and hunting with the tree facing the tree and into my field of hunt. So I'm looking and I see something over here, I start paying attention, and it's the flicker of a deer ear, and it turns out it was a doe. Okay, well there's deer around here, so I'm watching her. I'm starting to grab my camera, and all of a sudden, yes, the woods explode, and 3 or 4 does run out, and this big deer runs out. I didn't see any antlers or anything at this point, so I'm hunting with my 35 Whalen, brand new this year. So I'm hunting with it, and I got the Vortex Crossfire 4x24 or whatever it is with a 44 millimeter scope. Anyway, I'll put it up here. So I raise up on it, and I'm looking, and all I see is antlers. And okay, it's bucks only. I see antlers. I see a lot of antlers. It's really happening, and because this is my first buck, and I haven't shot a deer in 4 years. I cock that trigger, and boom! The deer jumps up, and it runs about 10, takes about 10 steps, and goes behind a bush and lays down. Yes. So the thing is, when it ran across there, I saw this big old gaping hole in there. That 35 Whalen did a number on that deer, and I said, "Oh Lord, what have I done?" But anyway, uh, I text Janice and everything, let her know. I text TJ, a nephew that we live by, and all, and let him know that I got a buck. It was an 8 point, nice dark chocolate 8 point. It good size for this area. Uh, I sometimes wish I would have kept it and mounted it, but I am doing the European mount, doing DIY, and I'll show you the results of that soon. I don't have any footage of me doing the DIY, and I apologize. It just I got buck fever. I was filming that hunt. I didn't get much of it on film. I got buck fever, and I forgot about filming anything past that point. Uh, but I had my buck. So I dragged that deer out of there finally, and I'm like, how am I going to get? It was a pretty big deer, and I say big for this area. It was good, decent size buck. I just so happened where I was parked, it was kind of in a little bit of a ditch, so I backed my truck up down to it like that, and I just dragged the deer right up onto to the back of my truck, and it was pretty easy, probably easier than the doe that I shot was. But so I get the buck, we bring it home. Uh, I get it all skinned up and quartered and into the ice chest. Me and my wife, we stay up probably about midnight, and we go in to get burgers and a milkshake. But we had a blast, and it was mission accomplished. So hoping I got another deer this in season. But I went out for Thanksgiving, and my son and his family, and then my grandson and his family was up at the camp, and we fried a turkey and all the good stuff for Thanksgiving. Well, that Friday evening, I went out for a hunt. I went out to a spot that starting to call Hogger Hollow. Now, if you know who Hogger is and where he's from, then you know where the reference is coming from. But I was fortunate enough to harvest 2 hogs, and so that was a great experience. The son and the grandson, they came out, they met me, and the one hog we found, and then the other one, it was just gone. I had been watching it, but where I could see it kind of fell down past my point of view. But when we got there, it was gone, and it was the big one. So we started trying to track it and trail it and everything, and TJ found it. It was laying in a ditch, and when we got up on it, it took off. uh, and so it led us on a merry chase through the woods for about an hour. But we finally went ahead and got it and harvested it. And Janice and I processed that up, and it's in the freezer. So the year was successful. That was my only harvest this year. So I got a deer and 2 hogs, and that is 300% times better than what I had been doing. And all I needed to do was just move out of the area. Now, the area that I was hunting has deer. I've got tons and tons of deer on trail cams, but I was just unfortunate, unlucky, unprepared, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. So that's the end of my year for this 2023 hunting season. I do have about, I forget now the exact amounts. Oh yeah, I have 21 pounds of meat designated for grind. And I'm going to take 16 pounds of that, add in some beef fat, 4 pounds of beef fat, and do 20 pounds of burger. And then I'm going to take, no, I'm sorry, I have 23 pounds. And that will leave me 8 pounds. Anyway, I got it all figured out. But we're going to make some sausage. We're going to make some jerky. We're going to make some burger. And I'll bring you guys along with that. I'm still going to try to do a little bit of squirrel hunting this year because I would like to get me a mess or two of squirrels. Been hungry for that. And so, again, I apologize for not making the videos and not filming and everything. It's just life got in the way, nerves got in the way, and so we're back. And so squirrel hunting's coming up and a lot of scouting. So stick around, and we'll try to bring out some more and better content. Thanks, guys, and hope everyone's been having a happy new year, and we'll talk to you soon.